Sunday afternoon, making an afternoon coffee run. Sawyer's been crazy this morning. I went and got pancakes for him, so we had pancakes this morning. He didn't seem too impressed, although he did drive a piece of pancake around like a car. That was super cool. Other than that, just a slow morning. We're really not rushing too fast to get things started today. It's fairly cloudy this morning. It's warmed up a little bit. It was almost cool this morning. Currently showing 88 degrees. So it's warmed up a little. Still, for nearly 2 o'clock on an August afternoon, it's under 90 degrees, which is just incredible. Awesome, thanks.
Have a good one.
You too, appreciate it. Coffee acquired. There's a giant hole in the road, holy cow. I should mention I had another successful Craigslist transaction today. It's kind of a lie because I didn't sell on Craigslist. If you're still doing Craigslist sales, you should check out like your local garage sale Facebook groups. Those are great places to sell. The person needed a new laptop. I had one I wasn't using. That's it. That's how it works. When I was 10 years old, I got my first guitar. This is it. And I still have it. It's I've been through a ton of guitars, and this is still the one that I have. Yeah. Also, right around then is when I started playing trombone in school, which would also be a very important part of my musical life. It wasn't until I was 14 that it really started to kick. See, I'd been playing trombone, and I enjoyed the school band, and I enjoyed everything about that. When I was 14, I got a copy of Crash by the Dave Matthews Band, and then on release day, got a copy of Before These Crowded Streets by the Dave Matthews Band. Essentially, Before These Crowded Streets is the album that made me a musician. That was when I realized that guitar could be so much more, that it was so important, how to play it differently, that it wasn't AC/DC that my friends were listening to, that it wasn't Metallica that I was listening to at the time. It was a big moment for me. So I ended up going to college for music, and I can basically pinpoint 2 things that made me want to do that. One was great music education in my school. My band director was great. I was never in choir, but I still sang in the choir. Let me clarify, I never took the class choir, but I still sang in the choirs because the music education department at my high school, which was a small, tiny high school, I think they could see that music meant more to me than it did the average person. And it wasn't about going and playing, it was just about being a part of the moment. So I got to sing in the choirs, I got to do a lot of the choir stuff. Even though I wasn't in choir, I think I did take it my senior year maybe, I don't actually remember. And then the band was super important. Marching band was great. I liked concert band, I liked playing at basketball games, I liked doing everything. Those were the 2 reasons I ended up going to college for music. I would say that I can identify maybe 4 bands that have each represented a part of my adult life. And they're also wildly different, so it's interesting, I think, to take a look at. Darling, my heart. So, 23 years old, Austin, Texas. Until this point, it's all Dave Matthews Band. At this point, I'm working for a company called South by Southwest, which you might be familiar with. It's a big music festival, tech conference, film festival. During the process of working for them, I got in the mail a CD hand sent from a guy in Wisconsin named Justin. His first album from his current project called Bon Iver, For Emma Forever Ago. And this was like one of the first adult life-changing albums for me. Super important. And it really shifted me away from listening to Dave Matthews all the time, which is, it's not that big of a stretch really if you're familiar with the album. Yeah, so I went on with that for a few more years. Somewhere in college, I started listening to a little upstart band called U2. U2 became very important to me right here at the age of 25. They were super important. My friend Robin and I went and saw U2 in St. Louis at the height of their Apple commercial fame. And then in 2005, my mom died, which sucked and still sucks. I was 25, and honestly, it was rough at the time. But what was interesting is a couple weeks after my mom died, I had tickets to the U2 360 tour. And after always being a fan and just being crazy in love with the live show, this particular show changed my whole view of the band, and it made me realize what so many people had told me before, that U2 is more than just a band. They are a church and a community and an event and something that matters. And it was really big for me. That was a huge moment. Seeing that show, crying almost the entire show because of the emotion and sort of just still fresh grief. It was incredible. Luckily, I was able to see the same show about a year later as guests of Bono, which was pretty cool. It was neat to see that on a ticket, especially as someone who'd been a fan of the band for so long. That's probably a story for another day. And so really, this right here, these three moments defined my life until right about age 30. Somewhere in this range, this 25 to 30 range, my taste sort of started to change. I got heavier into just sort of playing American style rock and roll. I really, really fell in love with Bruce Springsteen. I got into him first in sort of this same area when it was all about live music for me, and sort of performance and what performances mean. And Springsteen was obvious. I remember staying home and watching the Madison Square Garden HBO show. I don't know, somewhere back here. The mission of seeing Springsteen live sort of took over my whole musical life. It changed the way I played guitar, it changed the way I listened to music, and it was amazing. So in 2012, I got to go to Jazz Fest in New Orleans, and that's sort of the culmination of this adult music life. The switch from Dave Matthews to U2, with the Bon Iver change and the U2 change, I've been able to see U2 several times. At that point, it was around 3. I'd seen Dave Matthews 10 to 15 times at that point, but I'd never gotten to see Bon Iver, and I'd never seen Bruce Springsteen until Jazz Fest 2012. And in Jazz Fest 2012, I saw both, and it was awesome. That was sort of the moment where my adult music taste came to fruition, and it was super special. It was an emotional time, and I'd been through a lot over the last few years. I'd moved, I'd lost jobs, I'd gotten new jobs, I'd quit jobs, my mom had died. Music was still incredibly important to me, and that was where it all happened. That right there is a look at the four bands that sort of make up my adult musical history. And obviously, as someone who is a lover of music, you know, it's not like that's the only music I listen to. But those were certainly the important ones. And the point I want to make is this. I have a soundtrack to my life. And I think that music is such an important part of life. So it's something that I've started coming back to recently. Honestly, I've gotten away from it. It hadn't been as defining of a thing for me. I love music. It's incredibly important. Music education is incredibly important to me. And I think that overall, the soundtrack of my life has been something that's driven me forward. But so is playing and performing music. And I haven't done that in a long time. So I think that in the next year, I'm going to try to get back into playing and performing music. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm just putting that out there today as sort of a accountability thing that something I'm going to do. Sawyer is losing his mind in the outside. That's awesome. What a day. But yeah, so I'm going to get back into making music, and hopefully I can show some of that on here and just add it to the list of things I'm doing, I guess. But for as important as music has always been to me, it's time to make it important again. Make music important again. I'm Chad Edelbrick, and I approve this message. Those Korean highlighter markers are awesome, and that was super fun.
That church is so loud.
Great Sunday. Had a good dinner. Sawyer's taking a bath. It's a laundry day. The church across the street is super loud. Obviously something going on. Wish they'd give us notice about stuff like that. I don't know why, but it's hard to put the kid to bed when there's music like a concert playing. But that's okay, I guess. Yeah, that's really it for today. Hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.